Hello, hello. Hey, Sinistello. So I said I wasn't sure if I was going to stream in the afternoon, but here we are. It's the afternoon and I'm streaming. So I guess we know what that ended up being. I think I want to make some easy stuff work, though. I don't think I want to do anything too crazy now. So maybe we'll do this stuff first. Yeah. Okay. Oops, I did not mean to click that. So show the challenge mode UI on the gameplay screen. What's the money objective? How close to complete are you? Which, remember, is based on cumulative money. How much time remains until the business ends? Add a tooltip explaining this. Yeah. So I think I want there to be another section somewhere. I don't know, though. It can't. It could go into here, I guess. We could put it at the top. We put like challenge mode and then whatever UI we need. Challenge mode. Level 1. I think even putting that text would make this thing expand, though. Let's go take a look. Town menu. So I guess we'd put it above this. Add a VBox container. And then add a label. Challenge mode level 1. Chopped up a cantaloupe. Everyone here can have some. Oh, nice. Pass me some. Cantaloupe is something I think tastes good, but that I never crave. In fact, I don't think there's any melon, like watermelon, honeydew, cantaloupe. I don't know if I like cantaloupe better than watermelon. What do you think, Sinistyle? Which one's better, cantaloupe or watermelon? So challenge mode level 1 is one label that we're going to put in. Then we're going to put in like goal or objective 50,000 divided by 100,000. Yeah, that's gonna expand this. Maybe we should just make it say goal. Or goal 50%. And then as a tooltip, we say how much you should be getting. And then a timer. One of my favorite. Also rarely crave it. Just when it's on sale and catches my eye. Yeah. Got to keep it out in the sun for a while. Make it really soft and juicy. Oh man, cantaloupe carving. Look at that. You should do that with the fruits. All right, and then time remaining, we say something like 42M, 12S, something like that. Not sure how I feel about this stuff. So we'd add 3 labels if we did that. This is the easiest way to do this. So this is probably what we should do. We need the timer to not count down. Make sure the timer doesn't count down unless the game is unpaused. Challenge mode level 1. Maybe we just say challenge mode goal. And then underneath it, put like a progress bar. No, you know what? Let's keep this simple. I think this is probably fine for now. Challenge mode level 1. Put the goal. Put the time remaining. Update this. And that'll be that. Yeah. Okay, now I think I want to make this its own entire widget. So let's save this as a new scene. Where is town menu to begin with? It's in, oh, come on. It's in scenes, town menu. Okay, I don't think it should have been there to begin with. I think it should have been in the UI scene. So I'm going to put this in UI. No, not source. Scenes UI. Challenge mode. All right, so we'll call this challenge mode objective details. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay. Now let's rename this to, whoops, what am I doing? challenge mode objective details, and save that, and save that. Okay. So this is the title, I guess. This is the goal, and this is the time. Yeah. I think having progress bars for this would be good. So for sure, we should probably do that later. But this is just for starting. Polish this. We probably want progress bars for the objective and for the time remaining. We may even want the time to pulse when low. Okay, then we'll need a script to control this stuff. All right, let's attach a script. That was easy. Okay. Now we set a namespace for this. Cool. So the town menu has access to this thing now. Challenge mode objective details. And it should not show unless you're actually in challenge mode. So let's go save this thing off. Private this equals null. And then fetch this thing. Good. The name does not exist. What? How? Did I put another backspace there? Yes, I did. Or I accidentally deleted the underscore or never put it there, I guess. So now we want to hide that by default. This is based on whether or not you're in challenge mode. Where is that? It's not there at all. Huh. Oh, wait, there it is. Bool is in challenge mode. Town.gameplay.is in challenge mode. Then we can just delete this. That can't be right. Choose perks button. What? Oh, I know what that is. Okay, yeah. Losing my mind over here. Same thing with this. This is going to be equal to if you're in challenge mode. By the way, my favorite fruits, not in order, are probably mango's pretty good. Probably these. And the smell of limes. Oh my god, limes smell the best. They're the best smelling fruit. They're so good. But not eating limes. I don't mind lime flavor. Okay, so then this thing is going to exist, but we need to update it every once in a while. So if it's visible, I guess we're not updating the level. What are we updating? The goal every time your money changes and the time every time time changes. So we should probably have an init in here. Public void init. Town. We can save that off. I don't know if we even need it. Town equals town. Then we want to also save off the different labels. Orange smell. Pretty much all citrus smells really good. Love having a similar preference like that. I don't think many people eat limes directly. Even if you like limes, it's just kind of a weird thing. It's not a sweet fruit. But oranges people eat directly. Orange is pretty tasty. Also smells great. All right, so we want the goal and the time. And maybe these should just be rich text labels from the get-go, so I don't mess this up. Rich text label. It doesn't save the thing, does it? No. I say fit content. And same thing here, changes to rich text label, fit content. Oh, we want word wrap to be off, I guess. Probably want word wrap for all of this stuff to be off. How do we set it to be off for this? It's already off. Oh, labels, it's off by default. Okay. And then there should be a tooltip for this that tells you what the exact goal is. Should tell you the gold total. Tell you your current gold and the total. It should probably reflect the current numbers every time your money changes. Yeah, a lot of this is mechanical work. I'm glad we're tackling this now because I think if I can get these 3 points done today, I'd be pretty happy. If there's extra time, we can go into this 4th one here. I think that's probably it, though. I don't think we'll have enough time to do anything after that. But yeah, progress has just been swimming right along. So I'm feeling good. Private rich text label goal label equals null. And then the time label. Okay, now we need to go fetch those things. Cool, easy. All right, so now we need a process override process. Okay, this I'm not totally sure how we're going to do. Because at some point we need to track how much time there is, and this probably needs to emit, like, this is just the UI, but something needs to track how long there is. And it could be this, and I guess it could just emit whenever it ends. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. So let's make a public event action question mark. Time ran out. Time ran out means you lose the game. Yeah. So we need to know how much time you should have. Private double time remaining. I could just... Oh, wait, no, this has to take delta into account. Time remaining. This is in number of seconds. And we said, how long should challenge mode last? Let's just open a new tab here. Game is condensed to last an hour. I don't think that was even true. I think it was 45 minutes instead of 5 hours. But even then, I'm not totally sure what we said for the duration. Minutes. Y should probably be 45 to 50 minutes. Yeah. I think 45 minutes is a good starting point. I don't feel right about having this be in your face. A lot of games have an average run length, and it might be 45 minutes, but it doesn't tell you that you lose in 45 minutes. And the way I've always kind of rationalized it to myself is as long as you can win faster than 45 minutes, which technically you necessarily have to do if you're going to win. But as long as you're winning in like 42 minutes or 37 minutes or something, I think it's okay. And on higher difficulty levels, maybe you need more time to do this. Oh, I think we also need to ask a question in the late game here. Let me write that down too. Playtester questions. For higher difficulties in the late game, are you still making interesting decisions? I don't want someone getting 35 minutes in, having 10 minutes left, and feeling like they're unable to influence anything. This thing should probably write that spending money will not lower your goal amount. Maybe it should say that spending money will not lower your goal amount. It'll be obvious to a lot of people. All right, back to this. So time remaining, we said it's going to be 45 minutes. So 45 times 60. Yeah. So we should probably make like private const int num minutes in challenge mode. Or just num minutes. Time initial num minutes. Num minutes per challenge. Yeah, sure, whatever, 45. And then I go change the one down there. Well, I don't know if Sheikah's still here. I know you're pinging them, but I think, yeah, it doesn't show them as being in chat. Because I think that was a message before lunch. That was at 12:38. But hey again, Taco Bandit. Okay, so process, all we're going to do is subtract time remaining minus equal delta. And then if it's less than 0, and I guess if we have not already indicated that time ran out, then say that it ran out. Private bool emitted time ran out. Then invoke that and set this to true. Cool. Been listening, not paying attention to chat, trying to fix bugs. Yeah, by the way, please do try to keep the segmenting thing in mind. I have only a couple of rules. Yeah, I do prefer having consolidated messages if possible. Okay, so this is looking good. So the timer is going to be fine, but we don't actually update the timer. And treasure chests have the same problem. So I think I need to go look at what treasure chests do for this. Reposition timer label, do this. Where do we set this? Huh, something. Maybe if I just search for num minutes. Yeah, here it is. So we should make a formatting thing for this. Proving to be challenging, huh? Hey, Kevin. Bad habit of mine, brains all over the place, trying my best. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, as long as, like I said, it's not some like super hard rule about I'm gonna ban you or something like that. It's more just a preference on my end. And there are some people I have to remind every like month. That's okay, as long as you don't take it poorly. So this is what I want. This code, this entire code right here, we need to have be somewhere else. And I don't know where the somewhere else should be. We have BB code functions. It could go into there. There's format number, there's format title. We could make a format time, public static string format time, minutes, seconds, double time. No, my one feeling. I've just got hurt. To only have one feeling. Imagine. Okay, so this returns this or returns that. Sometimes AI fills in the right thing for me, but I don't trust that it's going to do it. It's math.floor, yeah. And then we could simplify this into a ternary. I think it looks kind of clean this way. Let's keep that there. And then we'll replace this with remaining time label.text equals bb code functions dot format time remaining. Good. And then we can just do the exact same thing over here in process. Time label dot text equals that. If you don't want to do it manually, it should also respect the locale. Yeah, we might want to switch to that eventually. For this, I think I'm just going to start with whatever the most basic thing is. We probably don't even necessarily want a timer. Although, well, I don't know what people are going to want. If you could choose only one, which would you prefer? A progress bar or a timer? I think I'd pick the timer, but I don't think I'd want to only choose one. Because this is very precise. So it'd say something like 15 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. Whereas a progress bar would just look like this. And you'd be like, how long is one dot on this thing? Is that a minute? Is it 10 minutes? Hey, Goldskin. Yeah, never trust the AI. I mean, I think that's generally good, but I don't like it when it's mechanical stuff like this. Like I had some like math.floor x divided by y divided by, divided by z. And then I end up making a variable out of it, right? So I'm like, okay, well, let's float result equals x divided by y divided by z, and then it automatically types in something here. The something should be result in this case. These two things are identical, but it doesn't always do that. Sometimes it's like x divided by result and I have to read it, and it's sometimes easier to just ignore it completely and just type out the thing myself. Hey Saku, I'm learning to code with boot.dev and I'm wondering how to write better code. A lot of the time I can find the solution, but in a naive or bloated manner. Well, I learned to write it over time, or is my thought process the problem? I think it's a combination of things. I think you will learn how to write things better over time, but I think the thing you're probably looking for maybe is design patterns. And some of this is just exposing yourself to what these patterns are. And some of it is seeing how other people write code. So yeah, I think it's a combination of learn design patterns and learn from other people writing code. And through a site like boot.dev, you probably won't learn through other people writing it because I think it's supposed to teach you. But you'll eventually witness enough people doing like weird things where it technically works, but it's not very readable. Actually, here's a really good example. So this code right here does what I want it to do. And another way of writing it is like this. And that. Some people would write this code like this. This is 3 lines of code instead of however many this ended up being. And yet I think it's slightly less readable. And I think readability is very important when it comes to coding. So I think this is just easier for a human to parse. Oh, a number of minutes is greater than 0. We run this code. It's the exact same thing here. And if you understand the ternary operator, you'd read it the same way. But now there's just too many symbols on one line. So maybe the way I would probably do this is like, well, you can't really split this out, I guess, because maybe defining a string for no reason. But yeah, so I would prefer this way. And the only way you'd know to prefer this way is just by having read other people's code. I think you'd want to use time span. Yeah, I probably would. And maybe I should write that down. Well, not maybe I should. I should definitely write it down. I can always just consider not using it in the future if I want. Okay, there we go. Have you heard about Amazon's own AI editor where it erased the database or the repository? I don't remember which one. No, I have not heard about that. Yeah, and then Saku, the thing about design patterns. So every once in a while, you'll have something. I'll give you a really simple example here. Let's go with a builder pattern. There should be a Wikipedia page on this. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at some example code here. I was hoping they'd have a succinct thing I could show you. I want to find a code block that I can just kind of quickly show you this. Yeah, something like this almost. This isn't. Never mind. All right. I was trying to find a quick enough thing, and I could explain what all this is. I don't feel like doing that. Yeah, I would say look into design patterns if you can. There are ways of saying, hey, I have 10 different objects I want to create. How do I pick the right one? Or I have data I want to reuse. How do I reuse it? Or any other number of things. There are different categories of patterns. And when you do encounter a problem that a pattern can solve, knowing that that pattern exists and how to use it is important. Hey, Tensei. Hey, Darkstorm. Or you dropped the else since you returned the if. Yeah, that could work too. Yeah, there are lots of different ways you can do this sort of thing. And I think the key is at a glance, it might not be obvious which one is the clearest. So if you go to something like C# playground, let's say you do this. Okay, so this is a way of multiplying a number by 4. But I don't think there are as many coders nowadays who would look at this and tell you that the answer to this is 12. And yet you would have done this a long time ago when you needed to multiply by 4, knowing that bit shifting to the left is faster than doing a multiplication operation. And maybe your compiler would have optimized this for you. But yeah, if we did 5 bit shifted left 2 would be 20. People used to write code like that then. They're like, oh, if I need to multiply by 2, rather than say like int x equals 5 and then x times equal 2, they would do something like x bit shift left 1. And people would read this line and be like, what? So just things to think about there. Let me see if that's actually even valid. Yeah. So we multiplied by 2 and then multiplied by 2 again. Yeah. So consider readability, consider maintainability. Okay. So the time should be working. Let's go try it out, I guess. Just don't look at much C code. Don't look at much assembly. Time remaining is not being updated. It is erroring constantly. Goal label not found. It's not called goal label. This is one of the few times I didn't put the word label in there. More you rate, the more you'll see what needs to get done. Don't try to be super clean at the beginning, like not too much. Yeah, I think that's where the whole time will help you improve too. Just kind of seeing this work. All right, so now this should say time remaining. There. We need to reload this. All right, so that should be good. Time remaining, goal. So now we need to update the goal. The goal is updated whenever you get money. This is gonna be interesting. So we can keep track of how much money you've gotten, cumulative money earned. We need to know what the goal is. I guess let's save that up here. Private, const, long, money, or like target cumulative money earned. I don't know what a good number is for this, so I'm just gonna set it to 50,000. Yeah, no clue if that's too little, too much. We'll have to figure that out later. And then every time you earn money, money changed. Private. Actually, let's just, oh yeah, that works. So this returns a new amount. It does not return the delta, but we can keep track of what the money used to be and then know what the delta is. So, okay, here's a dumb question. If we start you with, let's say 500 gold and your target is 50,000 gold, does that 500 count? Or do we say it's money you have to earn? So it would, like, does your progress start at 0% in this case, or does it start at whatever that is, 1%, I guess? I don't know. I think it should be how much money you earn. I don't think you should start at a number higher than 0%. So yeah. Private, long, prior money amount. Okay, so when you initialize this, we're going to set the prior money amount equal to the money that you have originally. And then whenever money changes, we're going to figure out the delta, the new amount minus the prior money amount. Then we add in the delta, and then we set your goal label equal to, I guess we're just setting it to a percentage. Yeah, so goal would just be your cumulative money earned divided by, let's just say percent progress. And then colon P1. Yeah. Okay, now percent progress is equal to that. And there we have it. Let's go try that out. So our goal should start at 0%, if I'm not mistaken. It says 50 because it never got updated, but we'll just update it here. On money changed, prior money amount. So it's going to think that it was 0 delta and then update it to be at 0 total money, I think. I sure hope so. Did it work? No, it didn't. All right, what's going on? Oh, we never initialized this. I'm silly. Okay, down menu. This needs to be initialized if is challenge mode. I guess we could just initialize it regardless, and it'll set its own visibility. So if town, actually, how do I feel about that? I don't know how I feel about that. We could just free it if we're not going to use it. Huh, I wonder what I would like best. It's weird for this thing to exist, but not be used for anything. We could just free it in here. If town.gameplay mode.is challenge mode. Actually, yeah, we could just do that. If this is the case, then just free it. And return. And then do this stuff. Okay. Click this link at your own risk. Oh, look at Gus. Gus looks orange in this. Pumpkin dog. Is he on top of you? Is he heavy? I think he is on top of you. I mean, I don't know about the heavy part. How much do golden retrievers weigh? Golden retriever average weight. 55 and 75 pounds. What? He's 80 pounds? Oh, man. Oh, very cuddly dog. How's it going, Goose? All right, did I restart this? I don't think I did. No. Also, now this thing is moving because of the timer change. We got to polish that too. All right, so goal is negative 0.1%. Why? I think it's because of the 500. I'm just not totally sure how that happened. So new amount is set to 100. What is the old amount? Prior money amount. Oh, maybe I never set that. Yeah, I never set that. Prior money amount equals new amount. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, weighted blankets. Super heavy weighted blankets. I don't know how I like this cuddle. Because I was going to say my cat started getting really cuddly with me at night, and I really don't like it. I like cuddling with her before I go to sleep. But when I'm sleeping, I do not want her to be touching me. I had a very stiff back the other day as a result of this. I've still somehow broken this, so let's put a breakpoint there again. So the delta should be 0. It is. And then this gets hit another time, and now the new amount is 500. It's 50. What? What's doing that? Set money. Modify money. Start game. What set it to 100 then? Is money just defaulting to 100? There's a starting money amount. Here it is. So then what set it to 50? Set money, modify money, start game. Oh, the challenge mode thing did. Where is that? Why can't I find that? It's here. Money equals 50. So why does that get called with 100 at first? I need to go look into that. Huh. Oh yeah, also we only care about positive values, I guess. But I still don't understand why this is happening. Oh, because this gets initialized right with the town menu. Okay, I understand. Okay. I think I got it. So if delta is greater than 0, then do this and do this. Well, I guess we can do this regardless. I think this is going to break though. Hey, Flare. Because I think what's going to happen is we're gonna count it as having more than we should. So now it says 0.0%. That's good. And then when I click this, oh, that worked. Okay, what happens when I buy something? Let's purchase one of these and one of these. And now I'm gonna give myself some more money. Yeah, nice, it's working. Everyone's least favorite chatter. That's not true. Trust me. Trust me on that one. There are some people I do not like seeing in chat. What's the money objective and how close to complete are you? So is this working now? Yeah, so we need to know when you've won the game as well. There's time ran out and there's also reached money goal. And the reached money goal part is here. If, oh, we should probably cap this. Math.min 1, comma, that. If percent progress is greater than equal or 1, then trigger that, yeah. Now we need to know the names. All right, here they are. I'm going to cover my mouth. I'm going to speak really low. I would never share what the names are. That would be bad. I would probably just ban those people first. Ban reason, I just don't like you. Yeah, hi everybody. He's just reading everybody's name. We were the fools all along. All right, so something's got to listen to these events. Needs to listen to the events from this thing. Running out of time and winning. So this is done. This is not done. The timer shouldn't count when the game is paused. So it's at 42:52. Yeah, it's not counting down. It is counting down. It's not counting down. It is counting down. Yeah, looks good. All right, cool. That's done. Tooltip we need to do. This is already done. Okay, tooltip. Tooltip should probably be on the entire challenge mode thing, which means none of this stuff should be listening for mouse events. So, oh, that's already set to ignore. These are not, though, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're not. All right, ignore all of those. And then we need something for this. Wait, we can just put a tooltip on parent, can we? No, we can't. Wait, can we? Have I ever done that? Tooltip on parent. Okay, then we just need to set that. Everyone's wondering. No. There are people in chat I don't like. They're not here now. And I will never confirm whether they're here or not after this. But there's no one I dislike here. Some people just derail the chat when they come in, and they mean well. They just don't understand, I guess. And not even derailing like, hey, what's your favorite fruit kind of derailing. Just like total sidetracking of everyone and everything and not coherent thoughts or anything like that. Hey, Mohammed. Only the lurkers are safe. Maybe I looked through the lurker list already. So tooltip on parent, this is set through the town. I guess we'll do that. Git node tooltip on parent. Tooltip on parent. Set tooltip equal the town's town tooltip. There isn't one for the menu, so it must be this, right? Tooltip. We just never do this. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Wait, run function on all descendants? What? Get every node and then set this thing? So I don't even need to do this? That's kind of crazy. And I would not have expected that. So we can just turn that off. Let's see. Derailed kit last week with what? Godot Fest. I think I looked this up. This is the one in Munich. Yeah, I'm not going to that. Hey, nice. It worked. Wow. That's pretty cool. All right, so then we don't even need to fetch this. And we just need this to say, oh, wait, yes, we do. What am I doing? We need to dynamically update the contents, right? Okay, well, so much for that. All right, let's change this to set via code, save. Except for maybe we need to save that again. Not sure if it actually got the value in there. And then we'll get this. Tooltip on parent. Save that here. And then we'll set the text. What do we want to write in here? Say what level you're on, tell your current gold and the total. Yeah, that's important. Maybe to say that that spending money won't do this and collective. Yeah. Okay, so it's just on money change that we want to do this. We could say update tooltip. private void update tooltip. Set text and update content. Text. All right, so we got a lot that we want to write here. It's going to be mostly Euro nerds. It kept humming the same annoying tune over and over and over, so I asked him in chat to please get another song stuck in his head, which probably led to him playing several songs and totally distracted him. That's why I never do anything musical on stream. Can't bother anybody that way. All right, so what are we writing here? I guess all this stuff. Okay, so you are on challenge mode level 1. You are in challenge mode. Goal. Maybe we don't need to say that. I think it's going to be apparent to you when you're in challenge mode. So maybe we just tell you your current goal and the total. Current, I guess, like target cumulative gold. Current cumulative gold. Time remaining. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just try that and see what happens. The time remaining is not important. I don't think that should be there. Let's hover over this and see what it looks like. Target cumulative gold 50,000, current 0. 10,000, 20,000. Time remaining. This isn't getting updated though as you hover over this. So yeah, let's get rid of the time remaining from here. And I think current should go before the target. And then this will need a /n. What am I messing up right now? Oh, just a semicolon. And we could print the percentage here. But yeah, maybe just another new line and then plus, and then something like UI constants dot help. You can spend gold freely without lowering your progress. Yeah. That should be apparent to anyone who knows what the word cumulative means, but maybe you're not thinking as you read this text. So what does it say now? Yeah, that should have 2 new lines, not just 1. Hey, owl. But yeah, otherwise, cumulative gold, target gold. Okay, so what happens when we start a battle? And win the battle and put that over there. Yeah, so now I'm going to hover over this, and it should say cumulative gold goes up to 3 when that thing sells. Yeah, good. Yeah. Now, the goal being a P1, I think there's no way to have the decimal point show only some of the time. I still really want there to be like a P number sign thing that you can do, but that doesn't work. C# playground. I've looked into this a bunch of times. I guess we could just format a number and then convert. Wait, could we? What am I talking about? Let's switch to .NET 9 and then just try printing out $sign 1.23 P $sign or P hash. It printed P1. Yeah, like there's no way to do this. Can I do 0.0 or 1.0? You can't. How do you do it? Print percent with a certain number of decimal places. Print decimal. Just format it. Wait, P. P is a thing? What if I do that? 123%. I guess I want 0.01. That prints as 1%. So if I do that, it should print as 1.5. Oh, but it's printing two decimal places. I don't think I want that. All right, whatever. I'm just going to keep it how it is. Yeah. This is functional, albeit incredibly distracting because the width keeps changing. But I don't think we're going to worry about that yet. Maybe we just set a minimum width for this just to make it not change. So we just keep doing this until we see that number go up. It should be at like 150 something. There it is. Yeah, that should be good enough. All right. Have we done it? I think we've done it. Yeah. And then something that needs to listen to the events. Those are the win conditions. Listen to challenge mode, details, reached money goal. And the other one is listen to this dot time ran out. Cool. So we can delete these things. So we now have the UI. It is not parameterized at all. There's no way to change the goal. Doesn't matter. This is fine. This is good. This stuff is all needed. Time remaining. Yeah, this looks fine. All right, nice. Show challenge mode UI in the town menu. This is sort of a placeholder. It does communicate what it needs to, but it does so poorly and without polish. Nothing listens for the new events yet, so you can't actually win or lose. Okay. Yeah, so this is done. Next up is this code the win condition. Listen to this. When your money exceeds it, show the win screen. Show a temporary screen saying something like this. The screen should show how long it took you and how long you had left. Try to at least log a message saying they've won and how long it took them. I think we need to log a message for that. Maybe it should also say, maybe it should say to screenshot this and share on Discord. No, we should eventually show a lot of other details there. Yeah, try to show how many of each kind of perk you got. Like, the more stats here, the better, I think. Because you can just ignore them if you want to ignore them. But if you care about them, I think they should be there for you to see. The most important thing for now is just that you can win. Phase 2 is maybe where we put more effort into this. But yeah, let's go code something really fast. So we'll make a new screen altogether, save as a user interface in the challenge mode there. So we'll call this like win screen. Or maybe challenge mode win screen. Yeah. And then add a rich text label underneath this and say, you did it. Clap emoji. I don't think the clap actually shows here. Clap emoji shows here. No, it doesn't. Okie dokie. Well, let's just ignore that for now. Just say you did it in a gigantic font. Font size equal 96. Done. You did it. Good job. Yeah, that's it. That's the win screen. We're not even gonna do anything. It's not gonna have any sort of fanfare. So something needs to show this, and we need to listen to something inside the town menu for this. This event is public, and we need the town menu to expose this thing as public. Yeah, so this turns into a public one. This is made different naming. Did that just do what I wanted to do? Get private set. Then bump this on down. Let's put this up here. All right, so now what's going to listen for this? There's no like challenge mode runner or anything. The UI probably listens for it. Maybe we have some like challenge mode thing here. Is it going to pause the game? Must be continue playing, right? Well, let's just do it here for now. In-game menu dot this dot. Well, we've already failed. We need the town menu. Setup menu. So what is it? Time ran out? No, we're not doing the lose screen. We're doing the win screen, which is reach to money goal. Show win screen. Okay, now we got to go instantiate this thing. Actually, we could just hard code it right into the UI, right? It does mean that it's going to get instantiated even when you're not in challenge mode, so I don't like that idea. So let's just search for UI/challenge mode and code the win screen. Great. Great. Should search for scene paths dot this. Yeah, there we go. All right, go plug this in. So this is going to get added somewhere in the UI, and I need it to be added in the right spot. Where? I guess just below the in-game menu. So let's make a new control and put this right there. And then call this something like challenge mode screen node. Oh, something like that. Hey, Mr. D-Boy, congrats on the launch. How things been going? I'm sure you are feeling like everything is very chaotic right now. Hey, Maisie. Welcome back. All right, so I don't think we want any mouse handler here. Not sure if this is going to ignore it even for the screen. Let's put a button in here. Oh, the button's not going to do anything. I guess you'll be able to see if you can click it. Can you click this? Yeah, let's just do that. And then in the UI, so we have challenge mode screen node. Let's go get that. Just grinding every day still, nothing changed. All right, well, that's a good attitude to have for sure. That's the bricklaying attitude. Just keep on going. Yeah, out of curiosity, why did you choose early access? Was it just pulling some money now? Or was it, I don't know, like a more in-depth thought process? Because I think for Skeleseller, I think we're just going to go right to release. But obviously early access exists for a reason. So I'm not trying to say you shouldn't have done it or something like that. All right, so we're going to have a private thing here. Private control. What do we call this in the challenge mode screen node? Yeah, this. And this is literally just a node to put in the win screen. So now show win screen can do that there. And there is somewhere that I got scene paths dot perk choice. Yeah, this. And that'll go here. Cool. So now instead of perk choice, this is the win screen, win screen. Oh, it's just a control for right now, actually. I'm going to need to change that. Okay, there we have it. Now let's make it so that you win instantaneously. Oh, actually, we can do that. Yeah. Because I like the idea and involves the community too. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's nice. I think it's more exposure than a demo. I think that's helpful. Can I ask a question? Yeah, sure. Okay, so our goal is 0%. If we keep clicking this, we'll eventually hit... Wait, what? Why did that just go up like that? it's 20%, and I click this again. It went up by 50, then it went up by 100. What? Are we doubling money? I don't know what's happening when you right click this. Modify currency. If it's less than this, then 10,000. Otherwise, double it. Okay, wow. That I didn't expect that. Yeah, that works. Hey, Pretzel. Do you allow people to pen test your stuff? I think let me say a couple things. One, you don't need to allow someone to do it for someone to do it anyway, right? Two, I would hope that someone would disclose anything responsibly, regardless of what you're penetration testing. And three is I don't really have anything worth penetration testing right now. Whoops. Like I have adamlearns.com, which I pretty much just completely neglected. I have the bot, which I guess I care about, but I don't think there's a large attack surface area. And then I have Scalaseller, which is just a single player game. So I guess it all depends. Like, are you thinking of pen testing something I have online? And if so, what is it? I was watching for 3 hours earlier. Wow, nice. You get a lot done. Okay, so we should see the windscreen here, and we're not. And we're not seeing it because this thing isn't set. Fail loading windscreen. I'm guessing it's not located there. Oh, I didn't call it windscreen. Ugh. I don't pay attention to anything anymore. Oh, man. There. Maybe we should even call it challenge mode windscreen here, just to make it match the name of the file. That's probably sensible. I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, if I click this a bunch of times, it should have shown up and it still didn't, which means I messed something else up. Show windscreen line 226 in UI.cs. 226. Challenge mode screen, no, doesn't exist. I never fetched it. I've messed up every single part of this very, very simple task. Oh, man. Well, we're almost done with it anyway. This does have node in the name, so even that would have been messed up. And then I will rename the scene path to be challenge mode windscreen. And then we need to move this up here as a result of that and find the one usage of it, which is over here, and rename. Oh, let's call that windscreen. I think it's fine. What? Oh, I see you corrected it. Yeah. Neglect your website. Well, so to be clear here, when I say neglect, it wasn't from like a security perspective necessarily. It was from like, I'm not even selling anything here anymore. And the last blog post was in 2022. So I would still assume this is at least like good security. There might be a flaw somewhere, but in general, like it should be pretty good. But yeah, there's nothing really interesting on the site anymore. Hey, there we go. And you can click this. Okay, so let's delete that button from the windscreen. All right, so this needs no mouse listener. And I guess the control itself probably shouldn't have anything on here. So I do want this to look a little bit better. We have the windscreen. So there should be a continue playing button, but we need to make sure we don't trigger the win condition multiple times. I met Kit. Yeah, I met Kit a couple times. We met first at the robotics championship in, what was that? 2017? What year was this? 2019. Yeah, I think that's the first time we met. And then he was here a few months ago. We did a stream together. Page is now mine. Check it here. Oh no. Local host, more like local hacker. 1337. So being able to continue this means that the challenge mode objective details need to know that you've already emitted this event. Actually, wait a second. What should happen here? What should happen after you win? Time stops. Maybe it counts up. Maybe we just don't consider this at all right now. Maybe it just freezes the game. I kind of want you to be able to continue playing though. And I think players will too. There are a lot of roguelike games out there though that you win and then that's just it. There's no continuing. I guess Risk of Rain 2 is pretty interesting in that you can choose whenever you want to end the run, or you could keep looping over and over if you want to. But if you beat the final boss, then you can't loop. Wait, is that true? That might be true. I don't remember. But anyway, in Skeleseller, I think you'll want to continue. And we could have the time go negative, but I don't think that really makes sense. I think we probably just stop the timer at that point. Maybe just say free play or something like that. Yeah. Had a similar channel where I mess with scammers and expose their IPs and stuff. I don't even go past 100 views. I think presentation for any YouTube video is really important. And especially when a category starts getting saturated. Like if you're doing scam baiting 10 years ago, you were probably one of just a couple of channels. So it's probably easier to stand out. Now I assume it's caught on enough. I know of probably 3 or 4 off the top of my head. And I assume that there are many more than just those 3 or 4. And I'm not really up to date on this stuff. Okay, so I don't want to... How about we just say like ended game? Yeah. So now where's the emitted event thing? Here it is. And then over here too, when you win, if this is greater than this and not ended game, then that stuff. Okay, so now you can only emit 1 lose or 1 win. If you lose, I don't think you should be able to continue playing. I think it should just boot you back to the main menu. Did I write that down already? Because if not... Yeah, so you should not be able to keep playing if you lost. Although we could allow you to, right? What's the... Is there a risk here? What would the risk be? You can't win after you lose. Yeah, let's just start with this. I'm not 100% sold on this, but I think it's a good starting point. Yeah. So when the game ends... How about this? Let's make a private void end game bool did win. And we'll say end game false. And end game true. Actually, this is kind of stupid, isn't it? I guess we should say set game ended. Ended game equals true. Okay. Place both of these with end game. And then we will change if you won. All right, I've already changed my mind. Ugh. I'll put this back to this. Did win. Okay, so if did win, then you reach the money goal. Otherwise, you did this. And then if you did win, then we change the timer so that it just says free play or something like that. Yeah, so if ended game, then just return. So now this is not needed. And then in here we can say timer label dot text equals replay, no timer. Something like that. That kind of looks like an arcade machine. Why did I pick Godot over Unity or Unreal? I've got the command there to answer that. All right, so when we hit this, it says you did it, and then beneath there you can kind of see free play, no timer. And the goal is 100% and it can't go beyond 100%. So that's pretty nice. I like that. We're going to stop counting. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay. So now you should be able to continue or go back to the title screen. So let's try to design this as quickly as possible. So we're going to need a button continue button. You need another button. Go to, well, maybe it's not go to title screen. Maybe it's like do the next challenge. I don't know. Let's say go to title screen button. So this will say continue playing. And this will say go to title screen. And we probably want a tooltip on here that says, I'll just say to do, fill this in. Yeah. Which won't even work. It's Twitch buffering. I don't have any drop frames on my end, so it's at least not a problem on my end, but I know your question is not necessarily targeted toward me. Do you think open source engines like Godot are more secure or more risky than closed ones like Unity? I think that's hard to say, but I don't think I would answer it from the point of view of, in general, what does any software do? I think I would just empirically say, like, here's how many security bugs Godot has had versus here's how many Unity has had. Now, I will say this, with Unity, you wouldn't know which security bugs might have existed because they don't have a public issue tracker, or at least not like how Godot does. So inherently, is there something about open source or closed source that makes it more or less secure? I would say no, not really. With open source, you could inspect the code and potentially find issues more easily, but if you're dedicated about finding issues, you'll probably find them regardless. But yeah, so I'd say that is probably a win for closed source. It's just slightly harder to do. But then there might be more monetary goal for people to pursue a closed source thing, just knowing that they're making money. Atypical. All right, so we finally need a script over here. Let's go make one. We'll put it in source, UI, challenge mode windscreen. Sounds good. Show the water thingy, please. This. Oh, the clip? Maybe you're talking about the clip? Or maybe you're talking about the other clip? I don't know which one you're talking about, but there's a couple of clips. All right, so let's load this up. So we have the rich text label. This is just the winning thing. This is the continue button. It's tooltip, continue tooltip, and then go to title screen button. Okay, let's get all of those things. You ever worried about someone modding or injecting stuff into your game post-release? No, I haven't. I think the way you'd worry about that is if you had microtransactions or if you had a multiplayer game. Because think about it. Let's say you're playing Skeleseller and I don't know, you only ever need 10,000 gold and you hack in just that much gold. All you've done is make the game not fun for yourself, right? It's not like it cost me money. There is one case where this could potentially cost me money, and I don't think it'll ever happen, where someone gets the game and like immediately just says, I want to hack it. They do this, and then they say, this isn't fun anymore, and refund the game. That would be it. And you'd have to be a lunatic to do that. Like, I just can't imagine who's out there doing that. They probably exist. That's a very, very bizarre scenario. But other than that, I just don't think it really... It's like, have fun. If you have fun playing the game, hacking, then hack the game, sure. So my cool hats mod. All right, let's get this. So we have a continue button. We have a go to title screen button. Should probably say screen. And we have something else. What else did I put in here? I don't remember what I put in. Oh, we have the tooltip. Yeah, so we need to initialize this thing and do town. We don't probably even need to save this. And then I want to set get node tooltip on parent continue tooltip dot tooltip where this content shows equals the town tooltip. Looks good. Let's get the ready function and save off these things. Yep, looks good, looks good. So this is continue pressed. This is go to title screen. I guess we'll put on there. I think it's fine. Private void. All right, so for now, let's just print out, yeah, continue pressed. And then do the same thing with the other one. All right, what am I missing? Already defines ready. Not anymore. Move this into a namespace, game source, UI challenge mode. We're talking about small water bottles, yeah. Remember the lights behind you, commands to change them. Yep. That's exactly right, Goldskin. With single player, it's like if they want to cheat, that's on them. I've seen some devs try to obfuscate stuff anyway. You ever tried that or just keep it open? It's just keep it open. I just don't see a point. If let's say what we were talking about is it takes like 1 minute to prevent people from doing this, then maybe. But if it's anything more than even 1 minute, I don't think it's worth the effort. Because someone will eventually do this, and then also like cheat engine exists. I think people could just trivially use cheat engine. Is there any reason trying to stop them? I think it's a waste of effort. I wouldn't say it does nothing. It doesn't do a whole lot. This is like the argument of should you put a padlock on like a locker at the gym or something? You know, you put your street clothes in there, and let's say they're not really worth anything. You know, they're just your average, jeans and a t-shirt or something. Like someone might come by and break the lock. If it were unlocked, maybe more people would probably pursue it. But someone who's dedicated enough is going to get in anyway. So it's all about like you are pushing the needle by putting even a tiny lock on there. It'll prevent the most like lazy opportunists, I guess. All right, let's try running this. I got to fix up this screen. And nothing's going to do anything here. Well, I just want to see if the tooltip shows up. It won't because I never called init. So this is pointless. Yeah, so this and this. And then windscreen.init. Did I import something? That was weird. All right, now it should work. So I'm going to let Everly try and show that it can be. Yeah. Now, there are ways you could prevent cheating. Like, if I made this game server side and then I validated everything that you do, like I could stop people from cheating, but it just doesn't make sense for a game like this. All right, so the buttons are stacked on top of each other. I should probably style this a little bit. We're going to need to anyway. So maybe something like U1. U1. All right, so how do we want to show this? Actually, you know what we could do? We could have this be in a banner in the middle of the screen, just like the defeated elite banner. I think that'd be the appropriate amount of fanfare, but I think that's something we can do later. Make the winning screen have more fanfare. Maybe compose a small tune. Maybe show the defeated elite banner, etc. Yeah. I think the act of hacking can be fun, but when you trivialize a game, I think that makes me lose interest the fastest. In fact, that used to be my policy. If I wanted to get over a game and I was hooked on it, like let's say it was Diablo 2 or something, then I would play with mods and get like a drop mod. And you kill like 2 monsters and you get every single item in the game you'd ever want. That makes it really unfun very fast. It's cool at first and then it just drops off so fast. It's like, oh, I'm killing everything in one hit. No, there's no challenge anymore. So yeah, that makes me want to quit games. There you go, Deke. A lot of system protection removal for software where the company that provided the keys had vanished. Having defeated many security and obfuscation systems, I can say it isn't worth it, and it invites more absurdity because it challenges catnip. Yeah, although the challenge doesn't have to be advertised. If you have a single player game and you try using, I don't know, you try modifying the save file and it's like oh, can't read save file. It doesn't say like, haha, I pulled one over on you. Then you might not even realize they put advanced protections in place until you keep prodding a little bit more, I guess. All right. So I guess we want to do some UI design here, or else this is going to become very complicated very quickly. So all of this should probably be in a VBox container. Let's put this here. Let's have this thing span the whole screen. This thing should also, yep, that already is. All right, so U1, then underneath that we have the continue button. I guess we should put these in an HBox container. Continue button, go to title screen, and then make these things be centered. Yeah, so that at the very least already looks way better. We should probably also have a background to this. So something does this already, maybe this one, yeah, overlay background. Let's put that in there. Good. And then maybe center this on the screen. How do we do that? Like that? Yeah, nice. Why is it still a little too big? There we go. Take away your slimes. We turn them different colors. It means you're cheating. Maybe soft lock or some sort of punishment. Yeah, I think that could potentially be worth it for a pirated version. Although I don't even know how you do that. Doesn't that mean you need to release the pirated version onto pirating sites? And hope it catches on? Because won't someone else just pay for the game and then release it themselves? And then the paid version will just be out there? All right, so now it's in the middle of nowhere. What did I do? How did I break this? Oh, maybe it was that. Let's try that out. This should be pretty simple. Huh, no, I don't know why that's happening. Is the go to title screen button at least working? Yes, it is. And that means that the other button should be working too. Yeah. I must be adding this to the wrong node. Oh, or this node isn't set to take up the whole screen. Where's the UI here? Yeah, it wasn't set to take up the whole screen. And this should have its mouse thing set to ignore it is. Okay, cool. Hey, Mara Dennis. Is it intended that the flagpole is wiggling? No, it's not. I know it's doing that because of probably the zoom level or something. But yeah, we got to fix that. Also, welcome in. Okay, cool. So this is what I wanted to have happen. And if you press escape, you can still see this menu over the top of it. There is a very, very important thing we need to do, which is that as soon as you win, we need to record whatever stats you had. And we don't need to wait for you to click one of these buttons. So we got to write that down in here. As soon as you win as soon as you win or lose challenge mode, we should save the results without waiting for you to click a UI button or explicitly save. That way you can't lose the progress. Steam API. Yeah, I guess if you use the Steam API, you could, but then you can't sell the game on any other website. Like itch is DRM free, and I do plan on listing on an itch, so it'd be trivially easy to host on another site after that. All right, so this looks good enough for playtesters. Again, this is not at all polished. You would never want your real players seeing this, but it does what it has to do, right? You won, continue playing, go to title screen. And we have the tooltip there, which we're about to go fill in. We will polish this as we get it ready for real testers. You can continue playing, but there won't be another objective. When ready, quit the... Ooh, wait a second. How does that work? What if you save and load a game you've already won? I don't know what that should do. Quit the game from the main menu. quit to the title screen through the main menu. Something like that. Okay. That'll change the tooltip, which if I have this open, it'll, yeah, there it is. So it says you can continue playing, but there won't be another objective. When ready, quit to the title screen through the main menu. Maybe when you're finished, you'll have to quit to the title screen through the main menu. Yeah, something like that. All right, that's good enough. The buttons aren't functional yet. That part we'll have to work on. And then there was something else I was thinking of. Oh yeah, saving and loading. When you have a loaded, finished game, loading an already won challenge mode run should probably show the win screen again to make it clear that you've already won. Or maybe the save file should just do something different. I don't know. All right, where we leave off. So you can continue or go back to the title screen. Let's make these functional now. So we'll have two events: public event action continue. Continue playing isn't actually anything we actually need to do. We just free the win screen. Yeah, we just call queue free and we're done. But when you go to the title screen, that we do need to omit. Chose title screen or like went to title screen. Yeah, something like that. All right, now we omit this from down here. And then something needs to listen to this, which is probably the UI, and the UI should hopefully know how to go back to the title screen. Does it? There's go to title screen. Would you look at that? All right, so win screen dot went to title screen. There. Then the whole thing will just end. Nice. Let's try it. So our two buttons should now be functional. Button number 1 is continue playing. And now we can continue playing. It says free play, no timer. I want to change that text a little bit. But yeah, there's no way to win or lose now. Oh, maybe hovering over this when it says free play. Quit when you're done or something. Free play. You've already won. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. And then we need to try the same thing now, but with the go to title screen. Nice. Yeah, cool. That is great. And we should be able to go right back into this and start a new run. Yeah. Nice. Okay, now to show you some stats. So you can continue. Eventually, this will unlock the next difficulty level. Yeah, let's write that down in there. That's for playtesters at least. So let's add a new rich text label. And we'll say eventually. I guess we want to center this too. This will unlock the next difficulty level. But for now, it doesn't do anything. Yeah. And then I kind of want these buttons to be a little bit bigger. Let's just change the font sizes to be 24. And then put a little bit of padding around that. Maybe put this in a margin container. And put some top and bottom margin. Maybe just the bottom margin. Where'd that go? Yeah, something like that. I left Google. Yeah, I left Google. Yeah, this is my main job right now. Okay, so that's done. Now the screen should show you how long it took and how long you had left. And then try to show how many of each kind of perk you had. Okay. So let's make a stats container or something. And maybe put it below this. I don't know where we want this yet. I'll make actually a grid container might be nice. Let's see what that looks like. So now let's say we just add in a bunch of labels here. And we say this one is time played 40 minutes. Grid container has 2 columns. We set this to be in the center. Is there a way to do that? I guess we could put it inside of another container. Center container. There we go. So there's time played. Let's just put in another bunch of these labels. So time played, time allowed, maybe like town perks unlocked. Battle perks unlocked. Adventurers hired. We could do something like 4 out of 10. In fact, time played could be, maybe we could just say time. We say 40 minutes out of 45 minutes. And then just delete this. And maybe put a little bit more spacing there. And maybe also, can you change? No. Apparently can't change the, you can't make the columns show up, I guess. At least not through here, you can't. Maybe if I made a theme, I could. Let's look at the themes we have. Does it let you do that? Add one for a grid container. Hey, Fern, how's it going? Hey, Mr. Google, I want to make skeleton game. And Tim Google said no way, so he left. Yeah, that's exactly how it played out. Welcome in, Fern. Welcome in. Hey, Max Wattage. Shout out Freshwater Fern. I bought a house. Wow. With boyfriend. Wow. Congratulations. You should send me a message where it is. But welcome in, everyone. We're working on a game called Skeleseller here. And for those who are curious and who are dying to see, let me show you very quickly. Because there's some cool updates. Had to go do a call. All right, take care, Fern. Thanks again for the raid. Hope you have a good one and enjoy the house. All right, so this is Skeleseller. You hire adventurers, you send them into battle. They fight for you automatically. So this is my little warrior. He's going to fight a bat, and he'll eventually win. And when he does win, which I will speed up, he'll get a potion, which my little skelly mans will go bring to the shop, and then customers can buy that potion. So here's a customer walking over, here's another customer. They might eventually walk over to here and get the potion. Speed that up too. They don't want to buy. Oh, there they go. Yeah, and then use the gold to upgrade your town and everything. So the base mode for this game is like an Idle-lite game. You're pretty much watching this happen. It's very leisurely. It's very casual. What we've been working on since Friday has been challenge mode, which is a way of making this into a roguelike game. So now instead of picking what explicit things you want to upgrade, you buy a perk and you're presented with a typical roguelike set of options here where you pick which one you want. And since you'll have played the base game first, you'll know what these things mean and what they do. So maybe you want customers to move faster, so you choose that. And now they're going to move slightly faster. So maybe they'll buy your items sooner. Maybe you unlock item stacking or something like that. And what we're working on is the win screen, which I'm now realizing we need this to be much darker. So let's make this darker. This should be like over here probably. Yeah. Did I launch this through? No, I didn't launch it through there. Yeah, so we're going to put in some stats when you complete the run. Like how long did it take you? How many perks did you get? How many adventurers did you hire? Hey, Synth. Yeah, so anyway, this game's available on Steam as a demo, but challenge mode is not in the demo. A lot of people have been asking for like, oh, I want more game. How do I play more game? I'm like, I guess challenge mode is going to be the answer to that. So We are trying to get it so that playtesters can try this out and say whether or not the game is fun. And if it is fun, we can put some more resources into this. And if it's not fun, then we have to go back to the drawing board. So I'm very excited about this. So we're going to make the win and lose screens today. They're going to be just functional, not great. Let's quit this and hit play and see if this darker version looks good. I don't love it. I don't love it. All right, let's try lightening this up a little bit. I want the text to still be legible. Why is this not working? Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's too light. We could darken just the area with the text. I think no matter what, this is going to look bad because I have no actual background here. We should probably just show this inside of a panel container and then everything will look fine. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so how do I set this back to the color it used to be? That's how. Maybe show a black stripe. I think putting it inside a panel will look pretty good. So if I put this inside of a panel container and put this inside of there, and then have this thing take up the full screen. Actually, no, this shouldn't take up the whole screen. It should be centered. And then we change the theme of this to be anything, stone panel theme. Yeah, that'll look better. Yeah, that's decent. Was it hard to get in, or was the interview just straight leak code grind? I think it's reasonably hard to get in. It all depends on what your current skill level is. Also, the interviews are more than just leak code, but yeah, it's primarily leak code, I'd say. Does the demo have the full game right now? I remember you said something like that. What do you mean by that? Oh, all the content? No, so the demo is about 2 hours of gameplay, and that's all it'll probably ever have. And I even think that we might want to cut that down by some amount. I mentioned this the other day, but the median playtime for the demo across like 7,000 players is 1 hour and 58 minutes right now, which is nuts. that's really good. That means that a lot of people liked it enough to just keep playing it. I think here are the exact stats right here. So yeah, we've had about 7,000 people play, 1 hour and 58 minutes. We could look at the breakdown for this. And yeah, about half the players played for at least 2 hours, which is, I mean, what median means if I said it was 1 hour and 58 minutes, but still that's pretty nice. And 7% of players are not even playing for 10 minutes. That's harder to conclude anything about. Maybe they started and had to go or something. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. I mean, some people restart the demo, or some people just take a bit longer. Some people have said that, oh, I played once and it took me 3.5 hours. So I think the demo is doing its job right now. So yeah, this looks pretty good. This is definitely readable. And for now, this is fine. I think we should probably put this in a margin container, but other than that, I think it's good. So let's put a margin container right there, and then under there, and then expand this a bit, maybe to 2020, 2020. And how's that look in the game? Yeah, pretty nice. We could expand this some more. That's good enough for now. Now we need to fill out these stats. The stats are how long you took and how many of each kind of perk you had. Maybe we also say something about buildings unlocked. Yeah, let's duplicate these. What kind of stuff did I work on? I think that's in the Google command. Yeah. That's right there in the command, yeah. All right, we'll put this here. Buildings built. 2 out of 6. Okay, so can we even figure these out easily? I don't recall. Yeah, I don't recall. I don't think so. We keep tracking adventure battle perks, how many perks you chose. Yeah, there's that. But we don't track this in town perks anywhere. We could just sum up the number that you have Yeah. I don't know how to get the total number of town perks you have. Where would we track this? This is its own class. It's separate from the tracker classes that we have. We have town perk tracker. I guess we could just keep track of it in here. Perk choice tracker. Like, how many choices did you ever pick? Yeah, we could. In which case, adventure or battle perks wouldn't need it. How do we get access to this? From the menu? Okay, yeah, I think that's probably pretty reasonable. So public int num perks chosen. And have this get private set. So whenever you choose a perk, just add one to that. Yeah, there, that's it. Okay, let's go fill in these values. So this is going to be, we'll call this time label. This will be time value. Then town perks label, town perks value, battle perks label, buildings label, buildings value, adventurers label, adventurers value. Now we need every other one of these to be accessed as a unique name, and then we can go fetch these. Did you pick the college route before Google or self-taught grind? Yeah, I went to college. Whoops. That's the command for that. Time to go to bed, almost midnight. Thanks for being here, Leap Your Girl. Hope you have a good sleep. Yeah, this has been fun to work on. I feel like we are building on the shoulders of a suitable game. I hesitate to say giant, but yeah, it's nice to build something that hopefully people are going to enjoy. Okay, so now we got to fetch all these things and populate them. So when we initialize this, we're going to initialize this here. Hey, try something, Dev. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thanks for the raid. Let me see. I can't recall if I've asked you before or if I've seen you before. Okay, yes, I have seen you before. Yeah. I was playing some Minecraft last time. Okay, got it. Yeah, what were you doing today? Hey, Katie, welcome in. We are working on Skeleseller over here, and we are trying to work through challenge mode. So up until now, the game has just been a demo, and you could click new game and start a new version of the game. That was it. There was only one mode you could play. But now we've added challenge mode, and this is something that I've only started working on since Friday, so it's still rough around the edges. But the way that this works is instead of choosing everything manually, like normally you'd click hire adventure and you'd get to see which adventures, now you just click hire and you don't know which ones are going to be offered. And then you pick based on these, and these are random. And it's the same thing with pretty much everything else you decide in the game. So when you're like, hey, I want a town perk, you click buy perk, and you don't get the entirety of the choices. You get 3 of them. And maybe you pick this one, and now your workers move faster. And same thing when building stuff. You pick which building you want the same way. Programming Minecraft plugin. Ah, wonderful. How'd it go? So yeah, we're working on the win and lose conditions for this right now. The way that you win in the game is you get a certain amount of gold, and the way that you lose is by taking too long. So if we just force ourselves to get as much gold as we need, then yeah, we'll see the screen, you won. I'm making this look a little better now. And what we're doing right this second is making it so that we can populate the stats on the final screen. And that's what I want to put in here. So time value, we need to get this somehow. What is this? A label? Label time value dot text equals. So we got to figure out what this text should be. And the only thing that knows how long you took is the challenge mode objective details, which maybe we should pass into the time ran out or reached money goal. Is there anything else we even need there? I guess it keeps track of your cumulative money too. We don't really need to say how much money you earned, do we? Because your goal would have been the same always. Well, this game you're working on is coming along so fast. Yeah, it's been really nice. And I'm hoping the whole point of challenge mode is that it was supposed to be the form of replayability in the game. So I'm hoping we release this to playtesters and they're just like, oh, I played like 10 times or I played 15 times, because that would be a sign that it exactly accomplished its goal. But even if people play, let's say 3 or 4 times, that's still worthwhile. And hopefully we can hone that some more. Yeah. Any advice for someone that would want to get into Google? My general advice is be good at what you do and study a lot at interviewing. Take care, Synth. Thanks for dropping by. We had a good time with Fern and a good time here. Yeah, I don't think there's a real shortcut to getting into a big company like that. They generally have pretty rigorous interviews. And if you are not good at what you do, it'll probably come through. If you didn't study, that'll definitely come through. I conducted a bunch of interviews while I was there, and yeah, I mostly saw prepared people, but every once in a while there was someone who was just like, I'm just gonna wing it. It was not good for them. All right, so yeah, I think we want to just pass in this amount and then get the time remaining. Challenge mode, objective details. And same thing here. All right, so in either one of these invokes, we're going to pass in this. We then need to make some of these things accessible, or maybe like a get summary kind of thing. Let's answer this question. What's the best game? Yep, that's how I weed out all the bad candidates with my own personal biases. I just don't want a level playing field for anybody. It's, do you like Botland? Yes or no? All right, so we listen for this here. Show windscreen. We'll take in the challenge mode objective details. Or maybe we type it out like that. So when we initialize a windscreen, we'll just initialize it with this thing too, and then change this thing to be here. And then we can plug this in finally. So like get time string for windscreen, time screen for end screen, maybe? Yeah, something like that. So now we gotta go make that. Let's close every other tab we have open. Want to interview people at Google, but I don't want to get into that. It's easy. You get to the interview stage at Google and you ask them a bunch of questions. Actually, to be honest, for people who don't know, that is really part of the interview process. Like, it shouldn't just be that a company is interviewing you. There should be something that a company can say to you that would make you not want the job. Ideally, you would have wanted the job to begin with, but maybe you were on the fence. There should be also something they can say that would make you want the job. I have a list of a bunch of questions I used to ask companies, and a lot of them had to do with what was important for me. But for example, some people are at a phase in their lives where if you work, let's say 50 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week, it's not the end of the world for you. If that's the case, then work-life balance probably doesn't matter as much. But for me, going above 40 hours a week was like, that's a red flag. So I would ask companies about that. Like, hey, how often have you worked nights or weekends? And yeah, sometimes you'd get some pretty concerning answers. Their total comp. Yep. At the end of the day, they're jobs. You might like your job, but you probably got the job because you wanted money. Full recon exploit dev, whole deal. Just curious how that kind of skill fits into Google's hiring. Do they test you for offensive security skills? It depends on what role you're looking for. And I think the hiring process is kind of convoluted right now. So if you were to look, I assume you would see like looking for software dev. I don't think they'd say security focused software dev, in which case they're probably not even going to ask you those skills. But if you find a security focused software job, they would care about that. I like to ask what their CI and CD is like. Yeah, any of those sorts of indicative questions or something where you're like, what's tooling like? What are people struggling with on a daily basis? There are lots of things you can ask that are revealing, but some people are just like, so what's the culture like? It's like, that's a little bit vague of a question, and they're probably going to give you some like soapbox answer. Transfer between the project without changing the game source for it. Going to great. Nice. Sounds cool. Yeah, I still haven't looked into the Steam API stuff. I need to do that at some point. How's your game going, by the way, Dark? I meant to ask you. I just want to constantly like DM you about how's the progress, how's the progress, how's the progress. All right, the time for end screen. Let's go get that. I don't know where this goes. Here, hi. Is this going to yellow underlight something? It didn't for once. Wow. Okay, so what do we want to render for this? What looks best and communicates the most? So option 1, time, we say like 41 minutes, 21 seconds out of 45 minutes, and then put a percentage. I'm going to just approximate. That's what, like 8/9. So that'd be 88%. Yeah, anyway, something like that. It's probably more like 90 because it's above 40 minutes. Option 2, in fact, let's just say 40 minutes. Okay, option 2, we say we split it into 2 different things. We say time played 40 minutes and time goal 45 minutes. Option 3, we just say time like 40 minutes, 89%. I kind of just like option 1. I don't know. I haven't even really listed a whole bunch of different things. But yeah, I think showing you how much you took out of how much you had and then telling you the percentage, I think is pretty good. Want to target chiptune like style and is very specific, so I can't just buy assets for it. Have you tried to find like a musician who might work for a rev share sort of thing? I think that's probably very hard to do. All right, so this is what we're going to go for here. And the way we need to do this is by formatting a... Where's the time? Where's the time? There it is. How do I want to do this? Format the time remaining. And then a divided by sign. And then format the number of minutes per challenge times 60. And then in parentheses, say, oh, what the percent is, time remaining. Oops. Okay, something like that. Let's try that. Budget is a problem, yeah. Yeah, and rev share is tough. I think unless you've sort of proven your track record in the past, otherwise you probably sound like one of those people online who's like, I have a great idea, but I need someone else to code it for me. Will someone else code it for me? It'll only take 2 years. Does the college that you went to matter? No, I don't think so. If you went to Harvard versus East Mississippi, I don't think it matters. I don't even think going to college should matter. However, there's an asterisk on that, which is that if you're applying for, let's say, a smaller company, you might encounter a biased interviewer who might think that you should go to college, in which case then it matters if you went to college. But for these big companies, it shouldn't matter to them. The only way it might matter is if their job requires, let's say, a PhD. Like if you want to work at Microsoft Research, I'm pretty sure you need a PhD. So I don't think you can get a PhD without going to school somehow. I don't think there's like a self PhD route. All right, so this is backwards. This should say time taken. Yeah. So time taken, this would be time. This is this minus this divided by that. And then this minus this. This is much better to just have it be a function at this point. What if it's your first job and you have no experience? Does your college matter? I still don't really think so. I think people will look at college if you went to college because there's nothing else they have to look at too much, and they might ask you about courses, but I think it's more of a starting point for the conversation. But obviously your experience may vary. All right, so get time string for end screen. It's going to say use a property for this. Oh, and in fact, what am I doing? We could just make this have curly braces, right? Return this. And then get rid of this. No, you can't do that. You need to do, oh God, what's the syntax? Yeah, that, I guess. Okay, so now what we can do is say double time taken equals that, and then replace these things. Nice. And I guess an even easier way to do this is to do string time taken string. And then time avail, or like total time string, or starting time string. All right. We're getting there. And then the final thing is percent. Yeah. String time taken percent. This is just a float at this point. So now we can take that whole thing and put it like that. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Now what's the problem here? Cannot implicitly convert type double to float. Sure, let's make it a double then. All right, how's that look? So it's pretty much useless. That's new. Ever since I was young, I've always had the mindset of either I go to a good college or I'm cooked in life. Going to Harvard isn't useless. I just think going to Harvard is not a green flag for getting hired at a company like Google. The best thing about going to a company, or sorry, not company, a college like Harvard, I think, is the networking effect. You would probably rub elbows with a lot of other well-connected, possibly wealthy people, and that'll probably matter more than anything else you would do. You've probably heard the expression, it's more about who you know than what you know. I have generally found that to be true in my life. Like, imagine you've been struggling your whole life to whatever. Let's say I'm working on Skeleseller and I'm trying to market this. And now let's say I'm friends with MKBHD on YouTube and he's got 20 million subs. And he's like, you know what, Adam, I'm going to do a favor for you. Instead of doing a sponsor segment here, I'm just going to talk about Skeleseller. And now, whatever, 3 million people see Skeleseller when they wouldn't have before. And it kicks off a lot of momentum for people playing the game. Now, there are other paths to that, and this is some wild hypothetical I just cooked up anyway, but still, I think there is some benefit in going to Harvard. I just don't think it's like, oh, well, you went to Harvard, we'll hire you right away. All right, so here it says you took 1 minute and 4 seconds, so you spent 2.4% of the time. Yeah, nice. Okay, so next up is number of town perks unlocked. I think we should be able to get this. Where's the windscreen? Here it is. So the next thing is town perks value. So how do we get this? Town perks. I don't know how we get that. We don't have a way of getting it. Here's the perk choice tracker. The perk choice tracker keeps track of how many of these things you have. Wait, it's public. Oh, it's just called perk choice tracker. I thought it was called town perk choice tracker. Num perks chosen. 2 string. Is that it? Oh, that was easy. Out here studying every day, aiming to perfect all my scores. Have my parents shout at me just to realize that it pretty much doesn't really matter. How would networking help you in getting a job? I mean, again, you're asking one person. You could probably talk to 10 other people and you'd get maybe 3 or 4 different answers here. So my opinion is that it doesn't matter for the big companies. But if you go and apply to a company that has 10 software developers and they're like, oh my God, you went to Harvard? Then yeah, it probably would have mattered. Everyone has biases and you can't really eliminate them. I think the closest you can get is awareness followed by some amount of training to try to reduce them. But at the end of the day, if you have, 50 different people telling you, hey, this person's a great candidate, this person's a great candidate, and then you interview them and you see they didn't really stack up, but 50 other people told me they were great, you're probably going to be affected by that. So I don't know exactly what your parents are saying, but you should probably try to understand the nuance in this. As far as how does networking help you get a job, picture as simply as this. You are out of school and you're looking for a construction job or something, and your uncle runs a construction company. Do you think that knowing your uncle and being related to your uncle is going to help you get a construction job? Probably. So it's as simple as that, right? You have a friend, they got a job at a company, they give you a referral, the company then hires you, everybody's happy. Or your friend runs a company and says, hey, yeah, I really liked working with you in college. Let's give you a job here. it can happen with any number of ways though that are much more subtle and less like nepotism, as in you are complaining to your friend about not having a job and they say, well, have you thought of this website that I've used? And you hadn't, and you use that website and you get a job, and that person isn't even affiliated with a website. So it can go any number of ways. I think the more people you know, the more resources you have, the more avenues you can try. All right, battle perks value. Let's go fill that in. This is going to be the battle perk choice tracker. Okay. And then buildings built. This one's a little bit harder because we need to get it from the town itself and know which ones you've built. There is the town, no, there's the building perk generator. And I think this has get available building IDs. Yeah, so we can do that. In num available buildings equals town, no, building perk generator dot get town dot count. Okay, so there's that. And then the number total num buildings is equal to get valid values building ID dot count from link. Okay, and then the text here, actually it already kind of filled it in, didn't it? Cool. And then there's one more string we got to fill in, and that is adventurer's value. Okay, so we need adventurer generator tells us the available classes. Num available adventurers equals adventurer generator. Whoa, what is going on there? And then total number of adventurers. And then fill that in. All right, let's go try it out. I think that going to a good college determines your life, like an Ivy League. Also, a lot of family members go that route of aiming for those colleges. So yeah, definitely going to take what you said into consideration. So I think there is some subtlety here that's being overlooked. Again, one, I'm one data point. Two, your parents just want what's best for you, probably. Three, your parents have probably seen their route work more than they've seen the opposite of their route work. Four is part of the reason, if number three is even true, is that things change across generations. There's this cliche of like, oh, just walk into the place with a suit and a firm handshake and you'll get the job. And like, that was probably true at some point. And now you couldn't even walk into a place that applications are online. So yeah, advice changes. And undercutting all of this though is that you might not be able to live totally independent from your parents if you're bringing this stuff up, such that if you were to say, well, look, this guy online says something, they might just be like, so what? he didn't raise you. Okay, so I got 0 town perks. I got 0 battle perks. It says I built 6 buildings, but I actually did not. I built none of them because I did this wrong. Num buildings built is the total number minus the number of available. Which means I probably messed this up too. Num adventurers hired. All right, there are no tooltips for any of this. This is just to have some stats here. Current job is entirely due to networking. Had a toy project with no plan to commercialize. Research advisor said, hey, I know someone who might be interested. Yeah. And I think this happened with me with one of my internships I got when I was in college. I just did a project that one of my teachers liked and then said, oh, hey, someone else is looking for an intern. Why don't you go work for them? So it does work. The more visibility you have, the better. I wouldn't say to not slack in your studies. Yeah, I agree with that too. You should still be studying. And that's why I said my original 2 things of like, if your question is, how would I work at Google? My answer is still be good at what you do and study at how to interview. And that's pretty much it. Enough attempts at that stuff and you will eventually probably get in. Yeah. Okay, adventurers hired, 1 out of 10. Buildings built, 0 out of 6. This is looking pretty nice. All right, so let's try that again, but this time let's actually get some perks. So let's build a building. Let's get the farm. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, let's get 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 11. That way we're pigeonholed and getting at least 2. So that we got 11 of those, and we're going to get 2 town perks. 1, 2. Now we're going to win. Got 2 town perks, 11 battle perks. We built 1 building. We hired 1 adventurer. Cool. The last thing we need to test is what happens when you hire more adventurers. So if I hire 1, 2, 3, then this thing should say that we have 4 adventurers now. Yep. Cool. All right. So how do we like this display? Do people think this is at least good enough for playtesters? Is there any other stat you think you definitely want to know? You'd never guess what I have in front of me. Oatmeal. Do I have a Discord server? Yeah. The way I got all my jobs is by pretending to be one of the boys, pretending to be very thoughtful when answering questions. They say fake it till you make it. Items sold, monsters slain, how many times I failed. Gold earned. So gold earned is only not interesting because in challenge mode, you have to earn the same amount every time for right now, which is 50,000. So it'll always say 50,000. On the lose screen, it's probably important though. That's a good point. I should put that there. We should show how much gold you earned on the lose screen. It's not as important on the win screen. For simplicity, we may want to show the same stats on both. Yeah. Okay, monsters slain, items sold. I don't think those are necessary, but I do think they're fun. So let's write that down in some of the polished stuff. Consider showing items sold. Well, consider showing lots of other stats. Items sold. Items given to garbage slime. Sludge earned. Etc. Yeah, we can do all that stuff. Have you ever done them? What do you mean? Does test-driven development work in games? Sorry, I missed where that question was. When a hobby dev try to espouse test-driven development seems inefficient. So my take on game dev is requirements can change often. And this is a pretty good example of that. On Friday, we decided, let's make, well, we didn't really decide. We decided sooner than that, but like, let's make challenge mode. And now it's Wednesday. Imagine where I'd be if I had written tests for everything right now. And you might say the quality of your software would have gone up, which would probably be true. But also, I would not have made half the features I made already because it would have just taken me that much longer. So let's say a week from now, we say, you know what? Challenge mode was terrible. This was the dumbest idea. I can't believe I ever thought this was good. And we scrap it. Well, now all the tests we wrote are probably useless because we're going to delete all the code for that. I feel like that happens more often in games than it does in corporate software. But it all depends on what you're doing, the scope of it. If you're prototyping corporate software, you might be throwing that away too. You're probably not writing tests for your prototype. Yeah. I see total damage dealt. Maybe not in this mode, just in general. Yeah, there'll still be, I still want there to be something in the game, like a library or whatever, where you can see all your stats. But at least for this winning screen, I think these are at least the most important things, and they were also kind of the easiest to show. But time for sure. So people can try to speed run the game and get as low as they want, or as low as they can. And then, yeah, how much, like, did you win, but you had like 400 perks? Oh, THM, try hack me. Sorry, I thought that was just a shortcut for them. You've been typing JS to mean just, so I thought THM was supposed to be them. No, I haven't tried that. All right, I desperately need to take a bathroom break. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, and then when we come back, we'll finish up this and work on the losing screen, I think. So is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. Close the game. In a Trana, I spirited away, Rensu. Pulling everybody out. Okay, so screens should show how long it took, show how much of each kind of perk you got, show the win screen, listen to this. We did all this stuff. Let's go check it in. Yeah, the UI leaves a lot to be desired, but it's working. Now we track this here. We also track it inside of Adventurer Battle Perks. So should I change this? We use it in a few places. We can now get it from two different places. I don't like having two sources of truth. Do we have a tracker in here? We don't. I think we delete this. But I think we do it in the next commit. Stop using adventurer battle perks dot that. And instead use it from the tracker. Okay, well, let's go back to the diff and let's keep looking through this. Anything else that stands out so far? No. Why did that move? Because it's public now. That also changed the name. Yep. Just polluted that a little bit. Show win screen. Looks good. Ended game. Also looks good. Time string, brand screen. You know what? If that's the only thing we're ever going to access, why don't we just pass that in? Oh, because of the cumulative money? Because we need to show that for the lose screen. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, looks good, looks good. Is that label convincing enough? Free play, you've already won. I don't like that. I think I wanted to say, what does it say normally? It says time remaining. Time remaining. NA. You've already won. That's now very long. Why can't I save this? I think that's going to split onto another line. Well, it can't split onto another line because I didn't turn on word wrap. But yeah, I think then free play you've already won is probably best. But I think a semicolon is better than an EM dash there just because of the font. But this is technically not an independent clause. I don't like any of that. Yeah, let's just go with EM dash for now. That's fine. All right, so what is this? Challenge mode, win screen. We set up all these things. It's also kind of a little bit of a mess. In ready, we could fetch these things and then we store them here. I don't think it's a big deal. Yeah, let's check this in. Okay, so add the win screen for challenge mode. Okay, so next up, so that's done. Next up was this. This is pretty simple. We just delete it. Yeah, and then everywhere that breaks, we replace with a reference to something else. And there are 5 places that break. So now this is town, UI, menu, battle, perk, num, perks chosen. And we just replace that everywhere. Can't say I'm a fan of that. Can't say I'm a fan of that at all. I'm going to do this because I don't like having 2 sources of truth. But this is obtuse. But now it should build and everything should work. Okay, so here's what that code does that I just messed with. We need the farm before I can show it. Oh, wait, no, or the fishing pond. Either one will work. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we have that. We can get as much wisdom sludge as we want. So the more perks you get, the stronger each perk can get. So if you just look at the health values right now, it's 14, 13, and 16. If I just click this a bunch of times, and now we look at them, it's 19, 15, and 16. And I click it another bunch of times, and now it's 23, 25, and 25. So these are slowly getting stronger. And the reason for that is because the amount of sludge it takes you to buy this should also be going up. It just isn't yet. So that, yeah, when you spend 50 sludge and you end up getting like 5 health for it, you're like, okay, that's a pretty good trade-off. When you spend 500 sludge and you get 5 health, you'd be like, this is bad. So that's why we end up giving you, let's say, 15 or 25 or something. It also means that the levels of your adventurers are not really totally telling the full story here. So like this character is level 4, but if you got 4 early perks, it's different from getting 4 later perks. So this thing's health is 112, whereas this is 234. Just because from perks, well, I guess I got the same amount. Actually, that's not fair. Okay, never mind. It's not fair for any of these. Okay, I take that back. But the idea is still correct, even though I was trying to demonstrate it with a bad example. Use a single source of truth. The number in the prior commit, I added the total number of perks to the perk trackers. So adventurer battle perks doesn't need to track it anymore. Will this finally make warrior strong? I actually think warrior is already in a decent spot. But yeah, even the treasure system could make warrior strong. So now this is done. Now we need to code the lose condition. This should be pretty simple. Challenge, objective, details. We have something here. What's it called? Reached money goal. So the UI is going to listen to time ran out and show the lose screen. Oh, wait a second. This gets freed in normal mode. So this is going to fail. If I just go to normal mode, I think it's going to immediately break. It didn't somehow. Oh, because it's queue free. Oh, so it's going to get queued until the next frame. So technically this is fine, but this was risky. Yeah, I guess make sure normal mode still works. Non-challenge mode works. Especially with whatever that thing is called, which gets freed immediately. Freed if not in challenge mode. Okay. So back to this. Show lose screen. So this is going to look pretty much just like show win screen. Where we're going to get the lose screen. We're going to add it. We're going to initialize it. To the point where they could just be the same scene. And probably should be, to be honest. Or at least inherit from the same thing. Yeah, they probably should inherit from the same thing. Let me think about this. The lose screen would not have continue playing. And it wouldn't have that this will unlock the next difficulty level. It'll just have go to title screen, maybe a big unhappy face. Maybe we ask for webcam permission so that we can send your picture to an AI and make you look really sad. I think that'd be a good idea. Okay, so then instead of challenge mode win screen, we should say this is like challenge mode end screen and refactor all this stuff. How fun. I said the R word, refactor. I love that word. I love what that entails. I'm not going the least bit insane. All right, challenge mode end screen. All right. Yeah, this is not fun, but we got to do this. Hey, who cares? Yeah, we got to do it. It shouldn't even take that long. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is. It's like this specific kind of refactoring is especially not fun. Fighting for my life to stay awake in this office. Do you have to? Could you potentially just go home early? Or like take a nap? I actually worked at a company, actually two companies, that had nap rooms. I gotta say, that's pretty sweet. The company culture allows you to sleep at work. Because I worked at a company where the company culture was not that you could sleep at work, and I did fall asleep at work. And someone found me and did not appreciate that. I was horrified. It was not a good time. I can't remember if the one saving grace here, I gave up caffeine a long time ago, and it was while I was working at that company. And I don't remember if it was after I gave up caffeine that happened. Because as I mentioned, if you're tired and you're not having caffeine, there's really nothing you can do to wake yourself up other than just go to sleep and hope that the nap helps. Hey, Becca. Yes, really. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a sleep in the middle of the day kind of person when you need it, you know? Just got to take a nap sometimes. In an SOC center, so I had to stay online for my full 10 hours since I have clients assigned specifically to me. Oh, yeah, that is rough. Well, do you have caffeine? Maybe you could have some caffeine. How many hours a night do you sleep then? I've been sleeping about 7-ish, I would say. Although a lot of that is due to our cat waking us up because she wants food and she wants to know that we're alive. So the end screen is going to have all this stuff such that we don't need this here. Or this. Or this. Or probably any of this. Or any of this. Or any of this. So there's basically nothing special about this. Wow. But there will be. At least the scene will have it. How do I want to do that? 7's enough for you? I think I'd prefer 8. But it's hard to get 8. I could probably try to inch back my going to sleep time. If I went to sleep about an hour earlier, that could potentially work. Delete everything, great refactor. Hey, that's what it took. That's what we're going to do. So now do we have the windscreen here still? Yes. So we want this to inherit from the other one. I've never liked doing this. But now actually I learned a new trick. And Leap Year Girl told me to write this down. So challenge mode end screen. Check this out. You can just drag this onto here. And now it inherits from that. And now we can rename this to windscreen. And then give it the windscreen script. And then, uh-oh. Whoopsie doodle. Okay, let's try that again. Drag that up here. Yeah. And then save this as challenge mode windscreen. Already exists. Overwrite. Coffee secured. Nice. I hope it helps. 7.5 seems to be pretty good. Yeah, I think 7.5 would be good too. Like I said, I think I need to just go to bed earlier. If we didn't have a cat, I could just wake up a little bit later. I think it'd be fine. All right, so now we also need the lose screen. The lose screen doesn't do anything special. In fact, having a special script for this is probably pointless. Let's delete that if it turns out we didn't need it. I'll write that down over here. Delete challenge mode windscreen.cs if we didn't use it. Can always right click scene, new inherited scene. Oh, really? Where is it? I clicked the wrong thing. New inherited scene. Wow. I don't think I realized that. Inherited scene. Nope. Where'd the tip go? How did I lose that? Yeah. Yeah. You can also right click the TSCN file and choose new inherited scene at the top of the menu. Yeah. Interesting. New inherited scene, all capital letters. Yep. Okay, well, now for the lose screen. So we're going to do this new inherited scene. We're going to call this the lose screen. We're going to just... That's not good. Oh, drat. I inherited from the wrong thing. All right. Let's try that again. New. Rename to lose. Save. All right. So now we need to piecemeal remove some stuff here. This is where I think having a script would be fine for this. So like the continue playing button could just be hidden in the lose screen. This text could be hidden in the lose screen, and then the win text could be changed. So yeah, we need to name this title text. So let's go get that protected rich text label title text. Get private set. Good. Good. All right, so we got the title text for both of these. And then in ready, we could potentially set this stuff. Yeah. So we would keep this script. I don't really know if it's worth it. So we call base.ready, and then we set the title text to U1. So this should just say title in here. Oh, wait, we can't set it to just... We can't set it to that. We need the font size to be gigantic. So there should be a set title function, which sets it to gigantic. Public void, or I guess protected, set title string text, or string title. So set this to this, but with a special caveat. Oh my God, I can't type anymore. Font size equals 96. There. Why'd you choose Godot? Aren't they pretty similar? I've got a Y Godot command that kind of answers it. If you have any other questions, by the way, feel free to ask me. I never use those commands to try to be like, you shouldn't be asking. I'm always trying to just save myself some effort. So this is going to be set title to U1. And then the lose screen doesn't even exist yet. So let's go save this as lose screen. And set that to U lost. Lose. Did we capitalize it on that screen? I guess I renamed it to title. No, it wasn't capitalized to begin with. Or we could just change it right in the program. I should make a lunch command. But it updates every day. How would that work? All right, scene paths. We need the windscreen to be a lose screen. The frying pan to be a drying pan. Brock. Okay, then this text, this whole margin container, I guess, probably should just be coded directly into the windscreen. Can you do that? Can we just add something in here? Yes, you can. So let's just put that there, and let's just delete it from the main one. Yeah, nice. All right, so margin, can we even name it margin container? You can. And then rich text label 2, we'll just call it caveat label. Today updates every day too. Today, people don't even really use the today command, which, by the way, I would like to remind some people that there is a new Skeleseller video on YouTube. And I think sharing the love with the greater Skeleseller community would be a good thing. So I have watched the video. I thought it was pretty good. I did share some feedback with a person that I think their mic could have been a little bit louder. Do I listen to music? Yeah, I tend to listen to classical music and video game music. I don't like stuff with lyrics most of the time. All right, so continue playing should not be on the lose screen. Where is that button? There. And that's it. We're pretty much done. In fact, all we did is change the title here, which is probably a waste of a script. Windscreen. All this stuff can be deleted too. Yeah. All right, so does it work? How do we test this? We make it so the number of minutes is 0.1. Oh, it's an integer. We can't make it 0.1. Yuck. Okay, so then time remaining we'll just set to 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds, we lose. Do I listen to Drake? I don't listen to Drake. Drake does not categorize into classical or video game music. Right, it should show. Yeah, here it is. You lost. That should not be split onto a different line. This title text should just be off. There. So now go to title screen, time. It thinks we took the maximum amount of time. We got none of the perks. Yeah, this all looks pretty good. How'd you know that if you don't even listen to them? You can know that someone is not video game music or classical music. I don't think Drake is a video game. Well, he does appear in many dragon-based games. And his brother, Wyvern. All right, so this is done. This is not applicable anymore. Timer at 0. Show. Oh, business failed is what it's supposed to say. Not you lost. Business failed. In fact, it could say business succeeded or business failed. Because remember, this is the bone system. It is business optimization via new expansions. Bone. Just ignore the via here. So we need to show that your business succeeded or your business failed. Yeah, I think just say business succeeded then. Never heard of that type of music before. It's just music from video games. So imagine Super Mario Brothers, and now imagine listening to music from Super Mario Brothers. I actually was listening to the Super Mario Galaxy soundtrack, or maybe Galaxy 2. That's got a really good soundtrack. Man. And there's every once in a while people will release an original soundtrack online for a game, and it'll contain all the variations on themes as well. And Galaxy has like 4 variations per track, and Banjo-Kazooie has the same sort of thing, like the underwater version of it and the above water version and the you're about to die kind of version or something. I don't want to hear all the variations when I'm listening on YouTube. I don't want the same track playing for like 14 minutes. So whatever I was listening to yesterday was pretty good. They didn't have all those. What about the radio stations from GTA games? Do they count as video game music? That is a gray area. Hey, Oscar. You use a system called Bones? Gonna have to sue your company. Never really find myself listening to them on their own. I like a lot of them because it's like a playlist in a can. You turn on that OST and you're just kind of set for the next hour. Okay, so that's done. Show how much gold you earned. All right, this should be pretty easy to do. We need to tell you, oh, and also maybe what your target was. You can technically exceed your target. Yeah, you can technically exceed your target. So let's do public string money string for end screen. All right, so what is this returning? Return how much money you had. Cumulative money earned divided by total cumulative money target. And then a percentage. And I don't want that percent to be able to get too high. So percent equals math. Yeah, that. Let's replace this by percent. All right, now we just use that, which means we need some new labels, which we put into the end screen. So which should go first, time or money? I feel like time should go first. So let's put money next. Money label, money value. All right, so this is going to say money. Oh, you should probably say sludge in here somewhere. 0/50. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Never want to listen to game music outside of playing the game, but I still go back and listen to the Transistor soundtrack. I think, there's a track called In Circles, and it was either from Bastion or it was from Transistor, and I'm not sure which, and I didn't really play either game, but In Circles is pretty good. Or maybe this isn't both, I'm not actually sure. Can this technically go to /0 if you just go AFK from the start? The /0 is the target. The target is always more than 0. So this number, none of the, what is it? Divisors? I'm not even sure. None of those can be 0. Yeah, it's transistor. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like that. Apparently there's some meaning to the song, which I didn't understand because I didn't play the game. About some like unrequited love or something. But yeah, some characters in the game where it would probably have more impact if I had played it. All right, so this is so close to the same that I wonder if we should even... No, we should consolidate these. I'll write that down. To do consolidate with the losing function. They're basically identical. What time is it? Man, what? Really? 3:50. I've been streaming a lot today. Today's been a pretty good day for productivity, right? Yeah, we're like well beyond 6 hours, and it doesn't feel that way. Normally it does. Wonder why that happened. Huh. Okay, well, let's try to finish up what I was doing. I've totally lost my train of thought. Oh, that. Yeah. So this is money value. And this is money string. Okay, I think we should be good. Let's go check it out. So I'm going to grant myself 10,000 gold, hopefully before this thing causes me to lose. There. So my goal is at 20%. Now when I lose, it says business failed. Time, it took us 45 minutes, you know, quote unquote. It really took us 3 seconds. Money, 10 out of 50,000, which is 20%. Town perks unlocked 0. Yep, nice, looks good. Oh, and now the win screen shows that too, which is what Dark had suggested. So now if we win within 3 seconds, which is very easy. Yeah, it says money 80,000. I think it's fun to see the percentage go above 100. So I think we're going to make it, we're going to allow for it to go above 100. Because, well, wait, what are the odds you actually ever get 10,000 above the maximum? You can't really, right? The most you can go above the, oh, I got it just really fast. Okay, yeah, so now it says 161%. The most you can go above the maximum is whatever the largest single increment of money you can get -1. Because imagine if you were at 49, whatever that number is, and you're at this, so you're 1 away from winning. So now you sell an item, maybe that item is worth 150, so now you went over by 149. It's not, well, what would that render as, I wonder? 49999 plus 149 divided by 50,000 times 100. It would round, well, I guess it would round to this. So it'd show you 100.3%. Yeah, which I don't think there's a reason to do that. So I think I will delete that and set that back to what it was. The results screen money was off by 50. It's how much you've earned, and you start with 50. So you didn't earn that first 50. Because let's say I started you with 500. I didn't want you to start at like 1% of your goal. I think that's kind of weird. But also, most players will probably never even realize this, because when you get to the end, you will have spent some money. So like the odds of you ending at 10,000 are pretty slim. So you might see 10,000 and actually win the game. But yeah, we could clarify it in the tooltip that shows over here. So it does say, it says that you have 50 gold, but it says your current cumulative gold is 0. Anyway, yeah, maybe that'll be confusing for people. Maybe not. All right, so have we done everything? Show how much gold you got. Yep. You should not be able to keep playing if you lost. I'm not 100% sold on this. Well, we've done it anyway. So now the only other thing we have to do is fix that to-do thing where I said consolidate these functions. So there's show win screen and there's show lose screen. I think what we'll do is we'll just say show end screen. And in this case, you win. You know what? No, they can be separate functions and just call into the same thing, right? Private void show end screen. And we got to pass in the details. Well, I guess all this is doing is going to pass in whether you won or not. Did win. Yeah. That's it. That's the whole function. It's pretty much identical to what we had. So this just shows end screen. And this does it with true. Okay. Now let's test them both. Can't imagine how I would have done that wrong, but now let's try it. So we're going to start by winning. Business succeeded. Eventually, this will unlock the next difficulty level, but for now, it doesn't do anything. Time is... Oh, time is technically that because I started with 2 seconds remaining. Interesting. Money, 100%. Town perks and stuff. Continue playing. Replay, you've already won. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Let's try again now and lose. So we just stand here. And we see business failed. Time 45 minutes. Time taken, maybe? Time taken? Yeah, I think time taken or time spent. I'm not sure what's better, but I think just time is a little bit ambiguous. Yeah. Okay. Oh, what happens if you press escape on that screen? Time remaining -1 second. Oh, good call. Yeah, I gotta fix that. Time remaining. Could just do a math.max here. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay. So I think we're looking good. Let's go check this in. Yeah, we consolidated those scenes. That looks good. Show lose screen. That's all fine. Yep. This is now the end screen. So if I click the plus button here, it should know that I renamed that, hopefully. It doesn't because I do have the other thing. Oh, well. Anyway, it's clear enough. So then going back to the diff, we have the win and lose screens, and all they're doing is setting a title. And it's kind of stupid, but sure. Oh, this can't be checked in. And now we can't uncheck it in. Okay, let's click the minus. And then go look at that again. And find that code. Here it is. All right. I think that looks pretty good. What was that file I just changed that in though? It was here. Does this button do what I think it does? Open. Yeah, nice. Yeah, no changes there anymore. Okay. Allow for losing challenge mode. I consolidated the winning / losing screens. We show money on both now. Yeah. Commit. Oh. So we're done with that too. All right. So this afternoon we got done with allowing you to see your progress and to win and lose. And if I were to just restart the game right now, it'll have the proper amount of time set. Yeah, so we see 45 minutes counting down. And if I go do a battle, let's say. Also, if I speed up the game, it's going to speed up the timer counting down. So now it's counting down at like 2x speed, now 5x speed. But yeah, so I earned some potions. And once these sell, my cumulative gold will go up. I have earned 3 gold. I'm rich. So let's hire an adventurer. Let's get the spirit caller and throw them into battle. Man, level 1 witch doctor is terrible. Yeah, so now I'm earning tons of potions, but I don't have enough customers. And I don't have any way of buying another building or anything. And the garbage slime thing won't show up. Did that just break? Something looked wrong about that. Yeah, it is breaking. Something weird is happening. Like it's floating from the upper left of the game. Can I get that to... Yeah, I can get that to happen normally. Weird. Huh, you just left click and right click a lot and it happened. That's not supposed to be a thing. I wonder what's causing that. Click an item on, or when an item is on the ground, spam click, alternating between left / right mouse buttons. It'll show itself flying in from 0, 0. It doesn't look like it's anything more than a visual bug. Yeah, so we've already spent 5 minutes in challenge mode and we've gotten 24 gold. So this is one of those things where like we can make it so that the starting costs of buildings or adventurers are 5 or 10 gold maybe. But you really don't have any options right now with the way the game works. It's like I can't speed this up at all. I have no impact whatsoever because I just can't earn the money. I can't get the building I want. I can't make more customers show up. And for whatever reason, they're all wandering over there. So if I do speed this up, eventually they'll come purchase some things. Yeah, there we go. So now I'll get a tiny bit more money. These are just dumb customers. I also got to think of what we're doing with rare customers. All right, let's just leave this for a second. I'll put this in the cleanup section. Need to think about rare customers. I think they still show up in challenge mode, but maybe it should be a perk or an event. All right, so we're at 36 money now. Customer. Oh, that's why the customers aren't buying things. Oh my god, I didn't even think about this because they're trying to find armors and weapons and we don't have them. We're supposed to randomize loot from the different shops. But this does kind of screw you over. It almost makes me wonder if the first location should drop one of each kind of item. It would give you more to do as well. I think we probably need to do that. The first location should probably drop one of each kind of item. That way the shops are maximized and you can't be stuck not getting a certain item type. It might be kind of too powerful, though. Anyway, it's been 15 minutes almost, and we still haven't even sold enough to get 50 gold again. They're finally going to purchase something? No, they left. We need one more stupid purchase. Come on. Come on. Go to the potion shop. You idiots. Oh, it did. Okay, now I can finally... Okay, so what I should do is I should buy a building. And all of these are worthless. Well, I wasted my money. Yeah, we can store more items, which does nothing for us. Or we can get the treasure room, which does nothing for us. Well, there goes the run. All right, let's start a new game. Bad RNG, restart. Oh, bad RNG, paladin, restart. All right, there's a rogue. Rogue I like. Let's start with a rogue. All right, but this time, instead of buying what we bought, what is the best thing just from the get-go? Maybe, I mean, everything costs too much. I just haven't balanced anything. I don't think there's anything you can get that's actually that good. So let's hire an adventurer. We'll get this character. And then let's send them into battle. I don't even think they win in the forest. I think they lose to a level 1 bat. Yeah, they can't even win this fight. So dumb. Okay, a lot of the balance needs to change. Can't even win a fight in the forest. Hang on one second. Abby, quit meowing your face off. What time is it? It's not our feeding time yet, no. Well, even if they could win a fight in the forest, we're limited on customers. But if you started with a mushroom character, then you just have no way of getting money. Yeah, this is a shame. This is a big shame. Let's hack in some money. Now let's give ourselves 2 buildings. Farm. Oh my god, that's perfect. We can't get the extractor training though, so we need to manually bring these over. Should probably start you with that. So now we can get sludge, but it takes 50 sludge to get a battle perk. So let's cheat that in. And now let's make our mushroom better. There. Now they'll be able to win a battle. You ready for this? So I just gave them 20 more health. That doesn't sound right. Is that what that said? And 2% dodge and 3% lifesteal. So they should be able to win the fight. Yeah, just barely. Did that say 20 health? I must have. So now we're getting lots of potions, again, for no reason here. I am quite torn. Again, I've put no effort into balancing this mode, but we're starting to see what the problems would be. Which is like, well, you need the garbage slime, or you at least need the farm so that you can do this. You need like some way to spend your stuff. I guess we have quests too. We could have put these in here and got more workers for, again, no reason. Okay, well, now it's fun. Now at least there's something to look forward to here. Getting these things, spending it on this. Getting some more battle perks. There's nothing for my characters here. This is the most punishing mode for the most casual game. I'm not finding anything. For the rogue or for the mushroom. There's a rogue one. Crit level 1. That's going to super speed up their battles. It was 13 seconds. Now it takes them 10. And if they crit enough times, it could take them even less time. So the garbage time increase the minimum gold you get from empty bar. I don't know. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure what's best here. Because I do want the player to feel like they steered the direction of these things. And maybe the way we manifest that is that you can get your first 2 buildings within the first like 5 minutes. And the next building should take like 10 minutes, and then the next one should take 15. And then you just end up with 4 buildings. But we need each route to be viable. Yeah. I think there's something here, though. I think there is. So let's say we did unlock the garbage line. Would that even help us? Now we need perks for them, but we don't. Well, I didn't even code the perks for them. So we can't get that. We can get item stacking, though. Item stacking will help. There. Try and stop me. Hey, we're 20% toward the... Oh, because I hacked in a bunch of money. I'm like, we're winning. We're not winning. We could go to the next location. We're guaranteed to win it. Wow, they really just destroyed the mushroom. Good thing they revive. All right, that's a bunch of money. Let's take that and put that there. Our goal is now at 20.4%. But now we can go to the volcano, which we'll probably lose at. Yep, we lost. Let's get a battle perk here. All right, now the mushroom has a chance to dodge. They'll surely win this battle. They actually are dodging. Wow. What is their dodge chance? It's 4%. They dodged like twice. They won. We got armor items. Oh my goodness. My town is bustling. Yeah, I think this will be really cool. I think the balancing work is going to be monumental. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It just does so much. Okay, so let's take a look at what's up on the list. I pushed this right, yeah. So add sound effects when you choose a perk. I think we'll put this down in the polish section, because I don't even have this on. I got to fix the bugs. I got to add a bunch of perks. Got to change up how loot works. And then spend some time balancing. And then for playtesters, I think adding some tracking would be good. Like if someone came up with a super broken run, we could try to find out how it was broken. Maybe make item stacking rarer if we didn't change how it functions. Oh, you know what? I think we'll do this one tomorrow. Add as many perks as possible. Or maybe fix the bugs first tomorrow. Yeah, then add the perks, then change the loot. All right, I'm excited though. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, let's go find somebody to raid. This has been a very, very productive day. Got win/lose screens in place. Incredibly productive. All right, who are we raiding? All right, let's just open up the raid thing. Same category, English. All right, so we're looking for people who have less than an hour and a half of uptime and are speaking English and that I'm not following. Because I'm not following means I've already rated them. Or I mean, sorry, following means I've already rated them. So it's this person. They're the first person. More over the wire bandit. Okay. Let's go raid them. There we go. /raid. All right, thank you all for watching. I will leave you with a couple of links. Steam link if you want, Discord link if you want, but ignore the me stuff for a bit and let's go watch this person over on YouTube as well. All right, I'll be back tomorrow. It'll just be a morning stream. Thank you all for watching. Have a good rest of your day.